Relations between India and Nepal are perhaps at an all-time low, with the Nepalese parliament tabling a constitutional amendment for adopting a new map in parliament. What is the dispute over? Well, besides the army chief's remarks that Nepal may be acting on someone else's behest with regard to Indian road construction activity, here are the broad details. What exactly has happened? Well, India and Nepal share an 1,800-kilometer open border. We've had the friendliest of relationships. The Lipulekh Lake Pass is claimed by Nepal. India has been constructing a road in that area to enable Kailash Mansarovar Yatris to reach the Kailash Mansarovar, which is in China in a tri-junction area, quicker than has been the case. Kathmandu says that the road that India has built is in its area, and they've also claimed Limpi Adhura and Kalapani as their areas and not India's. Nepal has protested, as I mentioned, against the road connecting Lipulekh Lake Pass in Uttarakhand with the Kailash Mansarovar route in China. They've now issued a new political map, and they've reiterated their claim to the areas I just mentioned. Nepal has now tabled a constitutional amendment for adopting the new map in Parliament. Joining us now, a very special guest, Dr. Minendra Rijal is a member of the House of Representatives of Nepal. He's been a former member. He's also a member of the Central Working Committee of the Nepali Congress political party. Dr. Rijal, thank you very much for being with us. Would you call these perhaps the most stressful times in what has been an outstanding relationship between India and Nepal for several decades?
Thank you very much for having me. I certainly think these are not those times when you would like to be in. Neither people in India nor in Nepal, as you have rightly pointed out, we've been one of the friendliest nations in the world. There were issues in the past, and this issue has been outstanding for, as you know, outstanding for 20 years. Was recognized as pending issue 23 years back. And both sides have agreed to resolve this through diplomatic means. But in the recent past, India is issuing a political map, created an environment that led to the developments that we are witnessing today on both sides of the border.
Dr. Rijal, the remarks made by the Indian Army chief, where he said that Nepal was acting on at the behest of someone else, perhaps indirectly suggesting China with regard to your opposition to India's road construction activity. Is that the trigger for what we are seeing now? Is that the basic trigger?
That's one of the triggers, not the only one. I would say the political map that is published by India was one. And then you know it so well, the relationship between our two armies. Nepali army and Indian army are so close and have helped each other for such a long time. And we have fought war for you. Nepali people have shown bravery to defend your territory. We have also been part of your Quit India movement, independence movement. And I guess that's one of the reasons why the goodwill among Indians towards Nepalese and goodwill among Nepalese towards India is tremendous. At the people level, people-to-people relationship, I cannot imagine any two countries which can be closer than the peoples of India and Nepal. But at the official level, there have been irritants in the past, and this time it seems more so than have been in the past.
Dr. Rijal, was it really necessary for Nepal's defense minister to make very harsh comments that the Indian army would not be able to stand up to their Gurkha soldiers, to suggest that Gurkha soldiers in the Indian army were being insulted? Was it necessary to take this to that level, particularly at a time when soldiers, wherever they may be, whether they're in India or in Nepal, they're on social media, they're following the news carefully, and therefore statements like this actually adds to the discord? Was it necessary for him to have made those remarks?
It goes without saying, the remarks made by the Indian Army chief created a situation whereby defense minister probably was prompted to say what he said. It could have been said in much better fashion. But I guess, using that as a pretext to the situation that we are witnessing probably would not be good. There are better ways how Nepal and India relationship can be handled. There are better ways how disputes between our two countries or our claims on our territories between our two countries can be handled, and we should be wise enough to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I
yes.
guess, one thing I would like to use the platform you have provided me to convey to people of India, people who have been so loving of Nepali people, and Nepali people also feel very close and attached to the Indian people. But any time when, for absolutely no reason, someone brings in the China factor and says, one's using the other, then that sounds like a very patronizing statement to a lot of Nepali people, to me also. We're good friends, but we do not decide for each other. We respect you as an independent nation, and we expect the same thing from you. So, rhetorics aside, Nepal and India are very close friends, will have to remain such, and the outstanding border dispute has to be resolved diplomatically. And there are many, many ways, and we rise up to the challenge, and then there are wiser people in both countries who can find ways to mend fences and then come out with a solution which will be agreeable to Nepali people, agreeable to Indian people. And then also we have to recognize that the world has changed. India's role in the global arena has expanded tremendously. At the same time, Nepal also is not Nepal of 15, 20 years back. Nepal, with the emergence of China, with the emergence of both China and India in the international arena, and with their interests there in this subcontinent throughout the world, and with the development of their information and communication technology, with the globalization, Nepal's role also has been expanding.
But Dr. Rijal, if I can just come in, sir, would it be fair for me to say that this is as much an issue of Nepali pride as it is an issue about whether a road is built on this side of the river in the Lippu Lake Pass or on the other side of the Lippu Lake Pass? Is it essentially about how Nepal and people and political leaders in Nepal are perceiving India as a big brother who is forcing himself with views on a partner nation? Is it as much about Nepali pride as it is about a map, an issue on a map?
It's both. Pride is an important factor, and especially for a country like Nepal, which has been independent all throughout its history, and which has fought war of independence for other countries also. Our people, our ancestors have laid their lives for defending India, for defending Britain. We take such a great pride in it. And I hope people in India do understand that. That's one thing. The second is the border issue has been there for a long time. We raised this, first time it was raised when I.K. Gujral was Prime Minister, that's back in 1997. And then we raised this in 2000. Since 2000, it's been recognized by both countries as outstanding issues. And the last communique between our two countries have been that we will attend to this issue. We'll find a resolution that's agreeable to both countries. But that's what we were waiting for. And all of a sudden, the situation came in whereby we all feel very bad that it should not have happened. And let me also point out the third thing. I really, any Nepali would feel so bad when one hears what was said about Manisha Koirala. Manisha Koirala is a great actress. She probably is one of the symbols that symbolizes the closeness of a relationship between us. But someone saying, probably not a very important person. Someone saying in media that Manisha earns pride in India and defends China. That's so insulting.
No, I think that's ridiculous and insulting and unfortunate. It's disgraceful.
It is.
But that's the way our social media often functions. They just go and target and target and target. Mr. Rijal, it's been Dr. Rijal, I must ask you one final question. If you can keep your answer brief, since I'm running out of time. Given the present state of tensions right now, is it possible that in the three areas which there are differences, whether it's Tipu Lake, Kalapani or Liputuria, that there could be border posts set up by the Nepali army in areas where there are differences of perception. I mean, to be in a scenario where India and Nepal have soldiers, you know, I'm not facing off, but in close proximity to each other, and anything but the closest of friendship is unimaginable. So could that actually happen?
Set the rhetorics aside. I guess people on both sides of the border are wise enough not to do anything that's going to aggravate the situation that's already bad.
Yeah. Dr. Rijal, it's a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you so much for conveying your views and explaining what this is all about. Thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thank you.